Hey everybody, happy Sunday. So I know last week I said there was not going to be a layout update for this weekend because I had too much stuff going on this week, but schedule changed a little bit. And when I watched last week's video, I realized a lot of stuff I didn't talk about. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it now. That way there we had a Sunday video. Hope you enjoyed the shorts over the last couple of days, Tuesday and Thursday and all that stuff. So let me turn this camera around and I'll show you what I've been working on. All right, so this is not a train. This is Gatsby. Opie in the chair. He always steals my chair, so I have to pull that chair out just for him. And this is the new baby. This is baby Kronos. He's about 40 pounds, about 4 months old, and he is an absolute terror. Mom is out running around with our daughter today, so I'm babysitting, literally babysitting. He is a handful. I mean, a handful. Oh my God, a handful. Okay, so I reworked some trees over here in the park. I actually think I may have had a mouse in here, even though I have not found any droppings or anything. I have found a number of these trees that have been pushed over in the last couple of months, and I really can't figure out what it is. Now, I did a ghost episode, probably 4 or 5 months ago over here, because a bunch of these trees looked like they had been blown over by a hurricane, but there was no reasons for it that I could figure out. But I still don't think there's any. I haven't seen any mouse poop anywhere. Normally when you see, you know, something knocked over, there's usually some mouse poop around, but no mouse poop anywhere. And the only reason I think that possibly it could be a mouse is because there's something dead in like the entranceway area between the kitchen and the train room that, you know, I can't figure out where the smell is coming from, but it's definitely something dead, but I don't know where it's at. But about 3-4 years ago, no, maybe 2 years ago, when we were tearing the walls apart in the kitchen, we found a dead mouse in the wall up above the doors that come into the train room. And we smelled that for about a week too, and we couldn't figure out where that was coming from. And somehow a mouse crawled up through the wall, which I didn't even think was possible, up into the space, and little bastard got stuck in the, it got wedged in between the header and the drywall, I guess. But I'm thinking maybe that might have happened again. I really don't know, so I can't call it. So that's just what I'm saying. So I planted some new trees over here, and that's about all I've done in this area besides just clean. But you can't tell I've cleaned anything at all. Isn't he freaking adorable? Man, he's adorable. Look at him. Look at them feet. Look at them feet. All right, so let's head around in here. Now, I set the control down. I need to grab that because anytime the camera's rolling, there's always a derailment, which was proven last week when I was filming. So my friend Scott's coming into town. He'll be here this evening, and like late this evening. So and with the wife being gone, I went ahead and did a bunch of work that I have been putting off. So without getting too crazy with stuff, I went ahead and painted what will be the all the gravel. So all this gray will be gravel, and I use gray paint prior to putting down the ballast. Is all I'm using is just ballast rock. That way there I don't have to make it real thick, and if it shows through, like if I get a thin spot and the gray shows through, it blends in with the gray ballast or the gray gravel that I'll be using. Also dug this little, I don't know, counter sunk down area, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what to call it. I dug a hole and I put this auger in there, and then I will cut the track, or not the track, but the ties in between the rails to give you the area that, you know, gravel or whatever is coming out of the rail car goes to the auger. I also chasing the cat. He's running Opie ragged, and Opie's screaming for his life, and Opie deserves it. That's all I can say. I also put in the road back here that will go around to this incline and then come up underneath. So I'm gonna do like a little tunnel coming through there, and I will cut some 1/4-inch luan, and I will make my own tunnel portal, you know, piece that goes in there. And if you've been watching my videos, you know I make a lot of tunnel portals out of this luan, and I think they turn out pretty good. But I mean, maybe that's just my opinion because I did the work, but you let me know. and we'll figure it out. So while this all dries in place and gets prepped for the rock, I also went ahead and did a little bit of landscaping over here. Oh my God, they're all up on me now. I'm being attacked. So I redid this area because there's going to be a ramp right here that goes to the tracks on this team track. So I needed a place for the trucks to pull the loads off and the loads to drive off, and vice versa. So I made this little turnaround here, and I had actually painted the gray all the way over, you know, to about a ½ inch away from the concrete where these bushes are at. And I realized that that's not going to work out with the trees that I want to put through here. So I went ahead and painted some brown and black on here, and I went ahead and put some dirt down while it was wet so it can kind of dry in place a little bit. And my little circular area here, I'll put some trees in there and trees here, and these trees will essentially block this view back here a little bit. And I think what that will do is add a little bit of depth. I still need to do some groundwork back here, some scenery back here, but I need to build the bank and get it in place before I go and do a bunch of scenery work that'll end up scraping up and all that stuff. So we'll work on that later on. But I like the way this is coming. I need to put some little bit of striping on the road right here, and I think back here I don't even think I'm gonna worry about it, but I might put a couple back here just to kind of, I don't know for what. I doubt I'll even put a stop sign here, but you never know. You know, signage looks great in all your pictures and really enhances the realism of your photograph or your model railroad and all that. So this area is going to look incredible, and I think at some point when all this is done and you walk in and you see this, you're going to see the depth, you're going to see the length, and it should be, I'm not going to say awe-inspiring, but I think you'll go, wow, that looks incredible. And it's in the very, very near future, the scenery will be 90% plus complete from this corner to this corner, and that is 26 feet, I think, 26, 28 feet. And then all the way down this, all the way around the big curve, the big S curve on the other side of the roundhouse. And then way back here, all the way to this corner will be done. And that is roughly, it's about 60 scale feet as measured on the track, on the main line. Maybe even a little bit longer than that, probably about 70. So, I mean, square footage wise, probably 40 square feet maybe. Now, probably more than that. Because once all the scenery is done up here, I mean, that's 8 foot by 8 foot. That's 64 right there. So maybe 80, 90 square feet of scenery will be complete. And that's a lot. I mean, my layout is ridiculously large. And if I had to do all of it all over again, I probably wouldn't change a thing, but I'd still complain about how big it is and how I'll never get it done. So if all my friends who live within, 20 miles of me, which is quite a few of them that are model railroaders, if you just bring your lazy butts over here, I'll buy pizza. There ain't no beer till we're done laying ballast, and I'm gonna put you to work. So, hey, if anybody has been over to the Marshall and Southern YouTube channel, Chandler was over here a couple weeks ago and filmed a video on my layout and interviewed me and stuff. And last time I looked, it was pushing 3,000 views, and that's incredible. So my question is, how come my videos aren't pushing 3,000 views when, I don't know. But Anthony Pettit come out last year or something like that. His video on my layout did really good too. And I'm very happy that both of those guys have got some good videos of my layout in construction, and it's helping their YouTube channel out. I think that's amazing. Amazing. Get your butt. Better watch out. Okay, so I went to Hobby Lobby the other day, and my wife doesn't know how much money I spent, but I didn't spend that much, like 50 bucks. But I got a bunch of these 4-inch trees, which they come in packs of 3. They're like 10 bucks. It's not that big of a deal. Stop it. And I went ahead and planted some trees right here and a couple right here. And then I also did a bunch of work on these telephone poles. Now, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Now you see I painted the insulators on there, and I did probably maybe 25 of these over the last couple of weeks, and I really sat down and I did all these 3 armature, whatever these little cross pieces are with the insulators on there. I did a bunch of these for mainline, and also took some and I cut these off so there was only 1 armature on there for the branch line, and I'll show you those here in a second. I went and I inserted them strategically out of the way, so you won't accidentally hit them or anything like that. And these are actually in a spot that if I wanted, I could probably put some some lines on there, and it would be a pain. There are, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 insulators per, so that's 18 lines on there that would run around. I mean, that's a lot, and that's probably way too many, and I doubt I'll ever do that. But if I ever wanted to, these are in a good place that I could do that. Probably never happen. They would probably be more trouble than they're worth. But over in Apple Creek, where we were just at, I do have a plan to string some line in between a few of them, and just going through the town, because I think that's going to be an epic photo opportunity at some point. Now, let's go down over here. Oh. So last week I talked about cutting this, and the piece that goes on top I screwed up. But I took this one out and I recut this angle so it would match on this side. So the next one that will come up will be something like this. So this piece actually fits in there pretty good. So the next one, all I have to do is cut like a little zigzag and a curve to match something like this. And then I can start building this top section, and then it'll be 3 tiers high, which would be what, 6 inches, and on the way to 10 plus. Because on the end I talked about only doing 5, but I think in the middle I can go higher and just kind of gradually make it like one big hill coming up, and I think that'll look pretty good. I think it'll look pretty good. Now let me give you a shot. I got a train coming. Hang on a second. Let me focus, and we'll be back. All right, so I really like this elevated view here. And the funny thing is, I can't tell if it's focused on my phone because I got my reading glasses on. I'm holding it too close, I guess. But I really like the way this view looks. And those trees that I planted right over here, they will block the view of the Allegheny Midland main line when I'm down low like this. So you can't really see it too much, and I got that Western Maryland train in the way. But I think this is going to look, this is probably my favorite view right now of the entire railroad. And there's a lot of stuff packed in here. I call this the Narrows. And you can just see this big, horseshoe curve here. Let me see if I get the whole thing in there. And these are 42-inch radius curves. So that is, 84 inches between the left side of the screen and the right side of the screen. And this is going to look incredible at some point in the future when I get this backdrop or this mountain built on the right there. That's just going to look great. Oh, look who's calling, Dwight. So I called Dwight a little while ago to see if he wanted to go to the November, I think it's 4th and 5th or something like that. The first weekend in November, there's a model train show in Raleigh that we go to just about every year. So, and of course he's going to call me back while I'm in the middle of filming, right? Because that's what friends do. All right. Drone footage. Look at this. This is a neat shot. I've never done this before. And I only want to make this about a 10-minute video, but I think it's awesome. But I think by year's end, most of the scenery will be done on this side. But I love this. I absolutely love the way the layout is coming along. All right, so back on topic. Here are the power poles I did for the branch line here. This is the Hudson branch. You can see where I cut the 2 armatures off the top. Focus. Okay, there we go. And I did something different on these. I did silver on the outside, red on the left, and then green on the right. And I just did that just for fun, just so that there would be a little color variation in some pictures. so that not everything was green and not everything was the same color and all that stuff. So I think it's going to look okay. I guess my thought process was maybe red for electricity, silver for anything else like communication, and green for, you know, I don't know. So I just did it just for fun. But I put in, let's see how many did I put in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I took them up the hill here, and I'm gonna run these down the hill so they're not in the way over here when you're doing operations, and then they will come back down the hill and over here someplace, probably down into Lazar Valley, and come around. Now, something else I realized I didn't talk about the other day, and maybe I did, but I don't think I did. I think I talked about it in a short, or showed it in a short, but just in case, well, whatever, I'm gonna talk about it again. So I named this area, this road, Custer Road, after Tony Custer, because he's been a huge influence over the last, you know, really last couple of decades, but really in the past 3 or 4 years since he and I became acquaintances and everything. So, and this road just kind of comes around here, and it goes across both tracks. So this is the mainland, or the Allegheny Midland main line, and this is just a Hudson branch. So it crosses here, and then technically this road goes and follows the railroad. This is the Pensy all the way around, but it also comes back here to Hudson number 2 mine. And I'm really happy that I could name something after Tony, because I think this is probably the best part of the layout right now, and maybe will be for the foreseeable future. But I really like the way this goes. I think this kind of captures the Allegheny Midland idea and the theory, I don't know, the concept maybe, you know, kind of looks rugged coming down a grade, got a lot of trees. I think it's mountainous looking, but it's just one of my favorite spots. So I figured I'd take my favorite spot and name it after Tony, because I really appreciate his friendship and the fact that he sends me pictures to work on and stuff like that for all kinds of different projects that he's got going, whether it's a magazine cover, briefings, you know, lectures that he does. I've done some artwork for him on that. So if you've seen his lecture on his Wabash, I think it's a Keokuk branch, and he's got a photo of Mount Sterling, Illinois. I think it's Illinois, and there's a freight depot and then stuff like that, but it's a model. But he sent me the original picture and then his recreation of the picture, and then I tried to replicate the sky in the background and all that stuff, and I think I nailed it. So he was happy, and I always send him some extra pictures. I sent him some, you know, some sunset pictures and stuff like that, and he liked them, but he said, I don't really need those, but I appreciate it. And I always send him something extra just so that he has multiple choices. And we're pushing 20 minutes here, so that is it. No, wait a minute. I did put in some ground throws. I think I put in 5 of these ground throws along with when I ballasted and all that stuff. So besides the ground throws that I put in, that is it. That's everything I forgot to talk about last week. And I will stop here. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, I greatly appreciate it. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and welcome aboard. If you live in the Lexington, North Carolina area and you want to come visit my layout, shoot me an email at hoscalemodeltrains2022@gmail, and I'll send you my number and we can work something out. I'll be out of town. Well, I guess it don't matter, because when you watch this video, I'll be back. But needless to say, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment, and keep coming back and see what I talk about next time.